Yo, people, Masters Blast, the best here. Welcome back to my channel. I'm a UK medical cannabis patient. Um, yeah, and these are my thoughts and views on medical cannabis, and this is a strain review. Um, Welcome if it's your first time here. Good to see you as always. If it's not, today I'm bringing you well, sorry as well. Let me just give you a thing as well. Obviously, like, I'm not a doctor, so this is my personal experience. But also, yeah, this is a sativa dominant hybrid, and I'm also medicated right now. That's what I meant to say. Right. So let's get into it. So today's one is a personal favorite for me, and one that I've known for a lot of years. But this one is Alaskan Thunder. That's the batch details and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so Alaskan Thunder. This is by 4C Labs. 29 T29. Um, so yeah, 29% THC. Yeah, sativa dominant. Sativa. It's like a North Cali sativa crossed with like a ruderalis, I think, in the mix, and then crossed with like an Afghani indica. Yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, like obviously, like I said, I think the first time I had this was in about 2012. And it's always been on my list ever since because it was just like one of my first introductions to different flavors and stuff like that. So I did find the flavor profile different. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, let's get into this. Give it a little small food up. Do you know what? It's so crazy, and obviously I've put links to the flower in the description as well, so you can have a little look at what I'm looking at. But the thing is with this, wow, it's got a smell, it's got a funk, yeah. And to me, it's like it just smells different, yeah. Like if I just judge it based on this, like it smells different, like to like normal stuff that you get nowadays or whatever. But in a way where it's like bang, it's pungent, it's in your face. Um, like there's a lot of pine on it. There's a lot of pine on it. Um, and like there's like a citrusy thing going on, yeah. And like back in the day, I did say yeah, that like I remember like my favorite palette, like it was new to like different tastes or whatever. But I remember back then, I said like I was getting like bananas and oranges back then, but every time when I smell it now, this is beta irradiated as well. So I don't know if that ever has anything to do with, or if that has anything to do with the flavor on this. I'm gonna make a video about the difference between the different types of radiation and stuff like that as well, just for you guys. But it's got like an old school smell. Like the buds look good. Like they're stiff, but they're light. Do you know what I'm saying? They're like because you can tell they're like old school strains. They're not padded out with all the genetics that nowadays strains have. They're effectively like land-raised strains that have been crossed. What that means are like they're old school genetics which are rooted in specific places, which may grow outside like the natural habitat in these areas. So one of them is from Afghanistan, and the other one would have been from North California, I believe. It's sativa. But it's old school. It's got an old school smell. If you're an old school smoker, I'm gonna say, if you're an old school smoker or you like old school flavors which are basic and they like owning and zoning on specific terpenes. Like this one's really good for like your pan inside. You can get a really big pan essence on this. You can also get like a citrusy type of smell on it too. And yeah, I find that it's it's complex in its own way, and I do find that me personally, like it's a smell that I could cozily smell that all day, every day, and I'll say use it as smelling salts. And then I'll have like a gelato on one side and I'll have that on the other. But between the two of those, like the smell, like I just love it. Yeah, I love it. It does smell like in your face, which I do like a skunky. It's got skunky smell or skunky hint to it. Do you know what I mean? That's what comes through quite heavy. Comes through quite heavy, but I do like that. And it's like the old school one, man. Yeah, like if you like your old school strains, like I say, it will be definitely one for you. Um, what I notice as well is yeah, like I guess when it comes to the flavor, like when I'm using it, yeah. So obviously, like I said as well, go and check those clips for what it looks like. But like I medicated it with it not long ago, and I'll give you the flavors first. When it came to the taste profile, I say it's quite pronounced. Um, it's got like a wide flavor, very skunky. Um, I find that it's got like a skunky taste to it, but then it does also have like a background indica on it as well, like an Afghani indica, which is like how can I say this? It's like quite smooth. Would say a little bit purpley. It's hard to explain, um, but it's like more on the smooth side, you know. Um, but on the top you get a lot of pan, you get a lot of like limonene. But what I find is that cross of tastes. So when it goes from the sativa to the indica, that at this little crevice here, and when you get that hit of it, you can get little hints of different tastes come out. I find like I'm quite big on finding out the tastes and actually like going through them. But for me, it's like yeah, I find that when you get to that hit, you get different flavors unlocked. So you get a bit of skunk come out, then you get a bit of like I won't say orange, like not like tangy terps, but like vibrant citrus. Yeah, vibrant citrus, I'd say. But like it stops before it gets into the whole orange profile. That's the best way for me to explain it to you. Um, but it's got that little twinge on it, and then you've got that little Afghani follow up after as well. So it does have a bit of a complex flavor profile. Um, yeah, with the flavor profile, it is quite complex. Yeah. Um, with regards to the effects, and yeah, so like I do say as well, I do find that a lot of the drags I do take, whether I've combusted it or whether I've vaped it, um, I do get this heavy, like I'd say gas. Yeah, I'd say the two. It's like the old school version of gas, the real gas, the real gas. But it's got that comes through. I think that's from the terpenoline, yeah, underneath. But it's got that gas that you recognize, but it's old school, and that's the only thing I'd say that you'd really recognize, unless you're into your skunks and stuff. You pick them up, or there's obviously other strains where you may find like links to like old school skunk based strains and stuff like that. You definitely pick that up more so, and then it's just got the Afghan background. So in my eyes, is these are strains. This would be a strain which was made as an old school hybrid way before you had the balanced stuff going on, like your gelatos and all of that, your cookies and your sunset sherbets, way before all of that. So it was literally like, all right, you get what you're asking for. All right, you want something that's heavy on the sativa, bang, have that. All right, you want something with a little bit of Afghani in there, oh sorry, a little bit of indica in there, bang. So you get them, but it's just a bit like, all right, that's there like that. It's not really balanced as such, but regardless, enjoyable vape. Um, with regards to effects, it makes me feel so. I feel quite alert right now. I do feel quite creative. It can be quite heavy, yeah. In the sense that it is a sativa. Sometimes when I do settle down, I do get to like this point where I'm nice and whatnot. But sometimes, like if you consume it early in the daytime, it can be a bit racy for you, like quite racy. And I guess sometimes, and I don't know, like on the odd occasion, I do find that consuming it is a bit racy, but it is very, very familiar to me. So I think I can understand it, but it's only really the slight onset. But then after that, I'm okay. Uh, Typical sativa buzz, but then the indica does also help my back too. But this helps my mood because I did know that. I did notice I was feeling a bit flat this afternoon, and it has given me a bit of a pick me up. And I was listening to music; it was making me vibe with it, and I was like, "All right, cool. Oh, I could make some music today." Speaking of music, I even put this strain in a song about in 2012. Do you know what I mean? That's how far back I go with this. We just go for one more smell while we're here. Do you know what I mean? It'd be rude not to. I don't know what it is. It's something about that smell. Like I don't like in my eyes, in my head. I'm like, all right. If I even had to put it towards a new school strain, like some of them funky strains, man. Like I can't remember what it was. It was like the garlic bar, bruv. I think I had, and it was like, and the GMO strains when they go down that funky route, it has one of those funks to it. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the only way. But then it has, if you notice, a little bit of a sweet sativa finish, but it's not sweet like as I'm explaining it. But if you know about the smell of a sativa and the smell of indica, you'll be able to tell a little bit. Um, but yeah, would I recommend it? Do you know what? I would recommend it. I would recommend it if you're not necessarily sensitive to high sativa strains, like in the sense that it can be very, very racy. Um, like I'm quite sensitive to sativa strains, so it's nice that it's got the indica to balance it out in the background. But I'd say that this and the pink gasoline for me because obviously I'm more so around. Well, I prefer indica dominant hybrids for my conditions. It's nice when you've got something else to balance that out. Um, but by itself, it can be a bit much if you're solely consuming this. So do proceed with caution. It can trigger anxiety. I will say that because like I've just felt it sometimes in the background and stuff like that. Like it's better for daytimes and stuff like that because you do feel like racy. But sometimes I do say, as I say, a little cheat code because when I get a bit creative and stuff like that. Um, like if I feel a bit creative or being creative, I might use this in the evening, and it's a bit of a cheat code because I just feel like it's just got me up, and I'm just like this, and it's really weird, but I can definitely say like that's why I always say when it comes to strains, depending on what you're looking for, and also the fact that they've got the capability to bring so much different things out of people, um, like when it comes to medical cannabis. Do you know what I mean? They have the ability, all cannabis really, but medical, I'd always swear blind by you guys. Do you know what I mean? But it has the ability to bring different things out, and this is definitely one of those for the daytime. Like if you're up and down and you're good to go, like do you know what I'm saying? You can have small doses. Do you know what I'm saying? If you feel like oh you're gonna blow your head off, by all means, it will still blow your head off. I'm not saying it won't. It will still blow your head off, but you just gotta you pack it up or whatever. Compared to the pink gasoline, I would also say um, the flavor profile is not as vast and wide. It's definitely more old school and basic. So it's got your basic medicinal needs covered for sure, for sure. But when it comes to flavor profiles, it's not as complex. You can taste the differences between the tastes, I guess, because they're very much basic landrace strains, and that does come through with it, albeit high quality. But what I will say, a comment also I forgot to mention is on the presentation of this, I found that it looks great. It's got a lot of it's giving skunk vibes. It looks skunky, green, light green, and obviously have a look, but skunky vibes. And it's got a lot of hairs on it. But the one comment I will make is the fact that I feel like it's got a lot of white hairs on it as well as orange. Like obviously, you know that when it's turning, you're supposed to get it like obviously 50 to 75% and so forth, around 70% mark or whatever, around the 70% mark. But this looks like it could have potentially been cut a slight bit too early. Now it could be genetics. I'm not gonna rule that out completely. However, from my own knowledge, I would turn around and say it might have been cut slightly early. Not crazily early, but slightly early. But early enough that I guess that some of it might have technically been cut early. Do you know what I mean? But only by maybe a week or a few days, or do you get what I'm saying? Oh, a week, a week. I call it a week. I call it a week. But yeah, would I buy it again if I want this type of buzz? Definitely, like, because what it is it does bring me up, and I'll say that it does bring me up, and it does still cover my back because the old school indica is actually just rooting straight there. It's not like these other ones where it's a bit like this, like it's just there, but it's there subtly. But if I increase the dosage, then it does the job. Do you know what I mean? It does the job. Um, I have to be careful because it can trigger my anxiety, so I have to be very very careful with that. But it is nice. I think I would personally get it once or twice more. For nostalgia's sake and for the fact that it is completely different and does what it says on the tin. But that's about it. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments as well, and if you've had it, and if you had it in the past, and then if you've had it on medical and etc. etc. I'd like to know. I feel like they did put it back on the black market. I never saw it. Wasn't interested because I just felt like it weren't the same. But yeah, like, share, and subscribe, please. I've got a lot more information to share with you. And yeah, um got one more left in month two, so make sure you tune in and stay tuned for it. Until next time, stay blessed. Do you know what I mean? Um, I say old school strains as well. I guess going on medical, off the top of my head, I'm gonna say the strawberry cake, but you want to look for stuff which is like like sativa based, unknown sativa, uh, crossed with a unknown indica or Afghani indica. Things crossed with an Afghani indica, but make sure that the main thing in that, so the first thing that you do see, first strain that you do see is a sativa. Because you can get Mexican sativas, Californian sativas. If you get anything in that realm things, then you'll be all good. But yeah, like I said, until next time, stay blessed, masters. Peace.